Hi, fourth graders. This is Miss Kovarik, and we are on lesson 7 today. We are actually going to reread chapter 4, so you can either pause me and listen to the chapter be reread here, because we read it yesterday, or you can go ahead and reread it on your own. So you're rereading chapter 4. Either listen to me in this video, or you can reread it on your own and then come back here. All right, I'm going to go over your questions and then we'll go over to skills. So number 1 asks about some vocabulary words. So here is all of your words from that chapter. It wants to know which word is used when talking about both the dead and the wounded soldiers. So look at those definitions and see what matches both dead and wounded soldiers. Number 2, the Second Continental Congress began to function as a government in all the following ways except, so you're picking the one that does not say that the Second Continental Congress was like a government. So did they not create their own money? Did they not form a navy? Did they not set up a postal service? Or did they not agree to form an army? So which one was not true about the Second Continental Congress? Number 3, what type of government did Thomas Paine think should replace the monarchy? So we're going to restate. Thomas Paine thought blank should replace the monarchy. So fill in the blank. Go back into the text, look for the section about Thomas Paine, and look for what type of government did he feel would be better for the United States. Number 4, on page 39, what does the heading, no simple solution mean? Support your answer with evidence from the text. So we're going to scroll back up to 39. The page numbers are on the bottom. So right here, no simple solution. I would reread this section and see what does that mean, no simple solution. So your choices are, oh, you don't have choices. So you're going to type in, the heading means this. What does that heading mean? What is that section all about? All right, the next section says to choose the correct word to complete each sentence. Use the glossary to check the meaning of words as needed. And again, here's your glossary for this chapter. All of the terms are here. So number 5 says members of the Second Continental Congress appointed blank as representatives to foreign countries. So which of these words talks about people that go to foreign countries? Number 6, there were blank on both sides at the Battle of Bunker Hill. So which one could fill in the blank about the Battle of Bunker Hill? Number 7, without blank, the militia was unable to fire its cannons. So which word fills in the blank? Number 8, many colonists felt it was unfair for Parliament to blank taxes on colonies. Number 9, victory in battle is not always celebrated because blank of soldiers often die. Which word fills in the blank? Remember, go back and look at the dictionary. Don't get tricked. And number 10, it is doubtful whether the signers of the Declaration of Independence imagined the blank of their act on the future. So which word talks about when something affects people in the future? And again, all of those words that you need are here. So no excuse. Scroll up and read those definitions again. All right, let's go over to skills. So it says, use this chart to plan your writing for today. So we've got a word box here. We've got the representatives from 12 of 13 colonies, representatives from Virginia, the British Parliament, Patrick Henry, and King George. So we're going to think about the intolerable acts, the First Continental Congress, and the Virginia Representatives Debate Response to Britain. So remember the intolerable acts, those were the Stamp Act, all of those laws that were passed by Britain that gave the colonists less freedom. So they were mad because they didn't have any representation in government, but the British Parliament was passing all of these laws that affected them. So number 1, what 2 groups of people took place in that first act? So the British Parliament passing the Intolerable Acts. What are the 2 groups of people that are involved in that? Number 2, choose the group of people that took place in the First Continental Congress. So if you forgot, go back over here to the text and look in here for the First Continental Congress. It'll tell you. Number 3, choose 2 groups of people that took place in the Virginia representatives debating response to Britain. So when the Virginia representatives were meeting and talking about this, who was involved in that? And then last is a writing prompt. So you're going to put together all that we just talked about. You're going to write at least 3 sentences responding to this prompt. So it says, why are people from all of the colonies concerned about the laws imposed in Massachusetts? And those were the Intolerable Acts. So the only place that these laws were happening was in Massachusetts. Why were all the colonies concerned with this? Why wasn't it not just Massachusetts fighting and protesting? All of the colonies thought this was an issue. So 3 sentences, talk about what the Intolerable Acts are and how the colonists responded to them. And then I also gave you a little word box for any vocab words you might want to include. So just to give you a little example, you're going to want 3 sentences. So maybe you can start by saying what the Intolerable Acts are. So the Intolerable Acts are blank. Your second sentence can talk about how they responded to them. So what did they do? And then the last sentence can talk about why the other colonies were concerned. So why were they all concerned? Why wasn't it just Boston that was upset? I'm sorry, just Massachusetts that was upset? Why were all 13 colonies upset by this when it was only Massachusetts that was being affected at the time? All right, that is it for lesson 7. Please make sure to go back in that text and find your answers, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, Adams.